Permanent Ink by Maxine on AO3. Chapter 10. Are you doing anything for Kaminari's birthday? Deku's voice was hushed when he asked. He and Katsuki were sitting on the floor now, backs against Katsuki's bed, their shoulders touching as they attacked a two-player side scroller game. They were taking turns beating each level, speeding through the various brightly colored words as they tried to break their record from a decade ago. Their old competition time still had been saved in the system, and Katsuki couldn't remember whose genius idea had been to try to do this now. But here they were. It was late, and not just Katsuki's version of late, but actually late. Midnight had come and gone. Kaminari and Todoroki were passed out on the bed besides them. Kirishima and Sarah had lasted a little longer, but eventually they both disappeared into their own room so they could sleep too. What do you mean? Katsuki murmured. It was his turn, so he was currently sprinting at the TV, trying to keep all the moving platforms and fire-spinning bad guys in focus. Fuck, he was tired. They only had one word left, though it was just a handful of levels in it. It's soon, isn't it? Deku had one of those tubs of ice cream in his lap and was slowly finishing it off. Katsuki grunted, an alternative. Few days, yeah. So are you doing anything? Katsuki directed the on-screen character around the final obstacle and then sprinted through the finish line before finally glancing at Deku. I think they're going to dinner or shit. Same as usual, he said. Pretty sure that he'd come up with at some point anyways. He vaguely remembered Kirishima talking about it. Deku grinned. Oh, you're cooking? The hell? Katsuki growled. I didn't say I was doing dinner. So you don't have anything planned? What the fuck are you even talking about? Katsuki grumbled. He gestured at the TV with an annoying flap in his hand. Hurry up, it's your turn. Ka-chan, Deku scolded lightly, though he did as told and set the ice cream aside so he could start the next level. You can't just do nothing. Why not? He glanced back over his shoulders, making sure the two on the bed were still asleep. Because he's your boyfriend and that's not nice. Katsuki grimaced. Fucking hell, leave it to Deku to get hung up on that shit. I mean, well, probably. He started, and then had no idea what to follow up with that. You should take him on a date, Deku suggested. There's a couple places close to campus that are nice for a birthday dinner. Which you know because you took round face to them? Katsuki bit out, then immediately regretted it. Deku just frowned a little, though. His expression turned somewhat melodramatic. He didn't seem like he was about to burst into tears, at least. Thank fuck. Yeah, he murmured. We're really not that serious, Deku said quickly, trying to move past the mention of Uraraka. Shitty dates aren't our thing. Deku hummed a little. You say that, but what? Katsuki growled. You were pretty cozy with him on the couch that one time. That one time. He calls you Katsuki, because it's my fucking name. I don't know why you're so defensive about it. Deku jabbed the buttons on the controller in his hands, eyes still on the screen. You guys are actually kind of cute. Don't... He leaned out of the way of Katsuki, abruptly raised his hand, laughter bubbling off him. I'm kidding. Don't explode me, Ka-chan. I don't want to start this level over. Katsuki huffed, letting his arms fall. Don't say stupid shit then. How about you don't get riled up so easily? You're really asking to have your face smashed in? I'm only suggesting you take your boyfriend out for his birthday. I'm not saying go buy a ring. Oh, for the love of fuck, Deku, he's not my boyfriend. Ah, god damn it. Katsuki buried his face in his hands with a groan. Deku managed to finish out the level since he was close to the end anyways, but then he let both of his hands and the controller drop heavy onto his lap, before turning his head to the side and forcing an outbelieved, What? I said... No, I heard what you said, Deku interrupted. I just don't know what that means. It means what it means, Katsuki lifted his head again, growling at the other boy. I told you, we're not that serious. Deku just looked confused. So what are you then? We're just whatever, Katsuki said. He felt his cheeks grow warm and had to refrain from groaning. Fuck, I don't want to talk about this. You said you asked him out, Deku pressed, before he could not stick his damn nose in. It was still somehow awkward talking about all this stuff, though Katsuki wasn't sure if that was just him or if it was because it was Deku he was talking to and things were very recently become an emotional mess in that department. Maybe it was both. Katsuki screwed his face up and exhaled noise. I asked him if he wanted to... He gestured randomly with his hands, shoulders lifting in a half shrug. Mess around. Oh, Deku said softly, and then his eyes went wide. Oh. Yeah. Wow, really? Yes, Katsuki said shortly. He's your friend, though. No fucking shit, that's why I asked him. Deku's eyebrows arched high on his forehead. That doesn't make things weird? No. Katsuki let his head turn back against the mattress, resigning himself to this dumb conversation. It cuts out all the bullshit. I really feel like the bullshit is half of the fun, Deku murmured. He brought his hands to stroke his chin, and Katsuki could see the thoughtful, concerned look that overtook him. Great, wonderful. Deku gave him a questioning glance. Kaminari said you guys weren't, he went a bit red and didn't continue, but Katsuki didn't help him out. He just waited. I mean, earlier, about the above the waist comment. For fuck's sakes, Katsuki said, his nose scrunched up. Why are you so goddamn curious, Deku? Sorry, he said immediately, blushed. Never mind, you're right, none of my business. It's your turn. Katsuki picked up the controller and started the next level without another word, but he didn't get very far into it before he sighed. It turns out, he said, voice gruff, eyes taking every advantage of needed to stay on the TV screen, that I like kissing and shit. Oh, Deku squeaked. It also turns out, Katsuki continued, that you can waste a whole fuck of ton of time doing mostly that and like related whatever. Deku seemed like he was holding his breath for a moment, but after a second or two trickled by, he chuckled. You're trying so hard to talk about it without actually talking about it. Fuck off! Katsuki smashed the button on his controller way harder than necessary and very narrowly avoided the character being killed. I don't do this shit. I know. You're right. I'm just nosy. You think? And I can tell you're fucking overanalyzing the whole damn thing. So I'm telling you, it's not a big deal and we're both good with whatever the fuck we've got going on. Okay, Deku said easily. Whatever you call it, I think it's been good for you. I'm gonna kill you as soon as I beat this, Katsuki growled. I told Todoroki, though. Deku winced. Sorry. Yeah, I'm super fucking aware of that, you damn nerd, Katsuki growled. But it wasn't just you. You also heard it from Ponytail. Courtesy of Ears, who got it straight from Denki. Wait. Kaminari? Katsuki scowled. Whose damn class is full of gossips? Deku shot him an amused look, but then he frowned a bit. Kaminari told Jiro you guys are dating? Why? I don't fucking know, Katsuki said. He likes her, so... So? Fucking hell. How am I the one explaining this shit to you? Katsuki complained. It pisses me off that I have to know any of this. What the fuck? Welcome to the world of high school dating, Deku said, laughing. I don't have any notebooks on this stuff, so you're gonna have to spell it out for me. Katsuki let out an exasperated sound. He was probably making sure she knew he wasn't available. Deku still looked clueless when Katsuki flipped a quick glance at him. He rolled his eyes. The whole wanting what you can't have thing understandably dawned on Deku's face. He turned to look at the bed behind them where the two of them were sleeping. He was just trying to make her jealous? Maybe, Katsuki said. I don't actually know. That's just my guess. I might have fucked it up because she was there when... Whoa, nope. He snapped his mouth shut before he could accidentally blurt it out what Jiro was totally aware Katsuki thought Deku was. Wasn't terrible looking. He wasn't sure how that factored into Kaminari telling her that they were together or whatever they had even happened. It wasn't like he had the chance to talk to the other boy about it since he found out. She was there when what? Deku asked. Nothing, Katsuki said. Not important. Forget it. Deku's brows frowned. For once he left it alone instead of asking. He asked, so why did you tell me? That was infinitely worse. Katsuki jolted, fumbling the controller just enough so that he misdodged an enemy and ended up sending his character falling off the screen in a pitiful death. Fucking damn it, that was the end right there, he explained, throwing a hand over his TV. The finish line was the far right of the screen, just inches from where he died. Now I gotta go do this all over again. Kachan, what? Deku's eyes braced and a knee chin dropped to his hand. He was giving Katsuki an unnerving, piercing kind of look, eyes strained, steady on him. Why did you tell me you were dating Kaminari? What? Katsuki blinked. Shit. That's not. Behind them, Todoroki made a grumbling sound and shifted on the bed. There was a solid-sounding thud and then an annoyed groan from Kaminari, who rolled over and nearly fell right off the mattress and onto the back of Katsuki's and Deku's head. Both of them quickly threw a hand up to steady him, but Kaminari was already barely squinting around the room before leaning a glare on his still sleeping companion. This tall motherfucker, he grumbled, shoving at Todoroki, who was sprawling like a starfish across Katsuki's comforter. Fucking bed hog. He slipped off the mattress and Katsuki's free side and then curled up right there on the floor and pillow against Katsuki's thighs. Katsuki said intentionally, one hand hovering over somewhat awkwardly above Kaminari's head. You haven't beaten this yet? Kaminari asked. Not yet, Deku replied. Almost, though. Kaminari let out a jumbly of sleepy, approving sounds. Okay, good job, he said, and then he dropped his off again. He was snoring lightly within a minute. Katsuki let his hand fall to rest on Kaminari's hair. Idiot, he murmured, a little more fondly than he meant to. He beatedly realized Deku was watching them and awkwardly cleared his throat before moving his hand back to the controller to restart the level. I don't know, Kachan, Deku said softly after a few seconds had passed. Maybe it didn't start out that way, but I think he might be your boyfriend. Katsuki scoffed, but couldn't think of anything to say. That didn't sound like he was just in denial or something. It was fucking late and his brain wasn't exactly firing on cider lights. He just wanted to beat this damn game and go to bed already. Preferably in his own bed, even though half and half seemed to have claimed that as his. They only had 2 levels left and then the final boss. He could make it. Hey, Deku spoke up again. Thank you for tonight. Katsuki caught his small grin out of the corner of his eyes. His eyes were bright in the dim light of the room. This was a lot of fun. It's okay, he murmured. I'll get Todoroki back to his room when we're done with this. You can leave him, Katsuki said gruntly. I'm gonna dump his ass on the floor, though. Deku laughed a little. No, it's fine. I know you want your room back. I could help you clean up tomorrow if you want. Nah, I got it. He could probably wrangle Kaminari into helping him, or Kirishima. Katsuki cleared the level and let a breath out, his eyes sliding shut. You gonna make it? Deku asked, sounding amused. Shut up, Katsuki grumbled. Just hurry the fuck up. They beat the game not much later, taking a shortcut through the final castle that brought them straight to the boss. What they did not do was beat their old score. What the fuck? Katsuki complained, throwing out an arm to the TV where the competition time was blinking innocently at them. It was about 20 minutes longer than their previous time. How the hell were we better at this when we were 6? Deku thought it was fucking hilarious, of course. He was bent over the waist, trying to muffle his laughter. We were so proud of ourselves back then, he gasped out, his wide grin evident beneath his palm. For good reason, I guess. I'm not letting some brat beat me, Katsuki said, even when the brat in question was himself. We're gonna have to do this again. Not tonight, I hope. Katsuki shook his head. No way. You need to practice first. You fucked up some stupid places. In my defense, Deku said, straightening up, I haven't played this game in 10 years. That's a shitty excuse. Katsuki shifted Kaminari off of him, resting his head gently on the ground so that he could push himself to his feet and endued in a satisfying stretch. It hasn't been that long. Deku followed Katsuki's lead, briefly standing and lifting his arms above his head for an extended moment before he dropped them and sat grimly at the edge of his bed. Close, though. Help me with this guy. Don't tell me what to do, he said reflectively, even though he was already moving to grab Todoroki and manhandle him into a sitting position. Wake up, asshole. Time to get off my bed. Todoroki just grumbled and then gave a squinting glare, clearly not all there, and Deku chuckled. I could give him a piggyback ride, Kachan. Katsuki frowned. He's twice your height, he said, and Deku rolled his eyes. Not even close. Just move him over here. They managed to get Todoroki's arm draped over Deku's shoulders, and Deku wrapped his hand under Todoroki's knees before unsteadily getting to his feet with a grunt. Don't drop him, Katsuki said. Or do. I don't really give a shit. But get out of my room first. So helpful, Deku grooves. He shifted towards the door, only pausing briefly to glance down at Kaminari. He didn't say anything, nor did Katsuki, but it was obvious they both knew Katsuki wasn't going to bother getting Kaminari back to his own room. Deku looked back up at him, the corner of his mouth tugging with a weary smile. Night, Kachan. Katsuki shut the door behind him and released a long exhale and then kneeled beside Kaminari and reached out to prod his shoulders. Oi, come on, you touchy-feely asshole. Kaminari uncurled with a groan, twisting around so that he could peer up at Katsuki. No, he grumbled, giving an exasperated pout. It's too late to go anywhere. I live on your floor now. I wasn't kicking you out. Katsuki stood and pulled the other boy to his feet. Kaminari winced, protesting, until Katsuki gave him a shove towards the bed. Just go. Katsuki blinked, eyes widening a bit, but he was smart enough not to give Katsuki time to change his mind and just collapsed onto the mattress and began messing with the covers. Katsuki climbed beside him. He was pretty sure he was going to pass out the second his head hit the pillow. You gonna help me clean up tomorrow? He said, settling on his back. That's my price. Kaminari paused. The price for letting me sleep in your bed? Yep. Because you can't just do something nice for no reason? Damn straight. Rude, Kaminari huffed, and he turned to his side, facing Katsuki. Hey. Katsuki glanced at him at the corner of his eyes. What? I know I'm not your boyfriend. Oh. Katsuki's brows furrowed and he shifted a little, angling more towards Kaminari. You heard? Just bits, Kaminari said. He curled an arm around Katsuki's pillow, which was barely big enough to fit the two of them to be sharing. He's noisy, huh? So fucking noisy, Katsuki murmured. Gosh, I wonder why, Katsuki said lightly. And Katsuki scowled. Don't. Kaminari snickered. Anyways, he said, I haven't, fallen for you or something. I'm just having fun. Yeah, well, Katsuki made a face. Apparently, we're the only ones who get that. It's our business, so really we're the only two who matter. Katsuki peered at him. Why'd you tell ears about us then? Ah, Katsuki grinned a little sheepish. His cheeks went pink. That was after your Midoriya revelation. She asked if you came in regularly busting into my room, yelling about how hot he is. Katsuki grimaced, faced back on his own blush. And I just kind of threw it out there. Said, nah, you're an open invitation because we're dating. It was half a cover for you. Uh-huh, Katsuki said, tone flat. And the other half? I don't know, I guess I just wanted to see how she'd react, Kaminari admitted. She seemed pretty shocked, but that could mean anything. Katsuki was silent for a moment. He could feel sleep tugging at him, but suddenly felt like this conversation they needed to finish. Katsuki was silent for a moment. He could feel sleep tugging at him, but he suddenly felt like this conversation they needed to finish. We probably both need a better tactic, he said evidently, somewhat reluctantly, and Kaminari sighed. Yeah, maybe. Honestly, it was more an accident, and then I just rolled with it. But maybe part of me was hoping she'd be jealous. Midoriya definitely was. He fucking was not, Katsuki said, instinctively, his shoulders hunching up. Kaminari gave him a spectacled look. Well, he sure was something. Shocked and appalled, maybe? Dude, you know that's not true. Kaminari squinted at him. Why are you so against the idea of him being into you? That was a loaded question. Was he against it, or was it completely unfathomable? Deku had no reason to feel any kind of way about him. Not like that. Obviously, he was clingy as fuck with whatever lingering attachment he had from their childhood, but expecting anything more from that seemed really stupid. Katsuki hadn't earned that, and something cold formed in the pits of his stomach. He hadn't earned it. Even if he could accept this whole thing, even if he let himself be okay with having Deku as a soulmate, even if he could just maybe one day want something to happen between them, it wasn't guaranteed that it was both ways. Deku didn't have to accept him. He didn't have to want him. Katsuki hadn't earned it, and he definitely did not deserve it. The others seemed to think that there were a given, he and Deku, that as long as Katsuki came around, it would be smooth sailing. They had no fucking idea. That was not a revelation that Katsuki wanted to be having whatever ridiculous-ass time it was right now. He knew he'd been trying to get a reaction out of Deku, of course. He'd thrown Kaminari at him to test the waters, trying to see if Deku gave a shit, if it disgusted him, if he was unhappy about it, if he got flustered or weird or jealous. But the realization that maybe he'd been scrunching Deku's reaction to see if he even had a chance with him was unholily unwelcomed. Katsuki it turned out, was an epic fucking idiot. I just don't think he finally managed to get out. Okay, well, I don't know how people show affection on planet Bakugo, but I'm not doing this right now, Katsuki interrupted, his voice slow. I'm really fucking not. It's late and shit, and I'm fucking tired. Alright, Kaminari said after a beat. No problem. Keep ignoring your big romance love story. Katsuki shoved his hand in Kaminari's face and snarled when the other boy yelped, scrambling backwards. Say that again, he growled. I was kidding, Kaminari wailed, batting Katsuki's hand away. You need a sense of humor. Maybe try actually being funny. I'm always funny, Kaminari said, lifting his chin. I am the principle of good comedic taste. Katsuki stretched forward before he could stop himself, crossing the distance between them to plant his mouth against Kaminari's. He kept it short and simple, but Kaminari still blinked owlishly at him when he pulled back. Principle of dumbassery, you mean? So rude, he said, his cheeks puffing out in a pout. Katsuki grasped at his chin and tugged away in to kiss it away. He let out. The principle of dumbassery, you mean? So rude, he said, his cheeks puffing out into a pout. Katsuki grasped at his chin and tugged him into a kiss. He let that one linger, pressing against Kaminari's, his thumb gently brushing against his jaw. When he finally leaned back, he found Kaminari's gaze held in a long moment. What? Kaminari asked, a light laugh escaping him. Nothing, Katsuki murmured, until he realized he actually did have something to say. He just kind of didn't want to say it, but he was sure how to feel about that, regardless. I think we need to stop. Kaminari's eyebrows went up. Stop, like... Katsuki took a breath. He forced himself to speak, even though it was strangely hard to get the words out. We have to break up. Fuck. Maybe Deku had a point. He hadn't wanted to believe it, but maybe they actually accidentally had let this spiral into something more than either of them had planned for. That thought left an odd pang in his chest. He knew he definitely didn't have feelings for Kaminari or anything like that. He was absolutely sure of it, but Kaminari was still his friend, and he admittedly got uncomfortable being involved with him. He definitely hadn't considered the ending, that this would be anything other than easy. Kaminari had gone quiet. Katsuki inched towards him, his hands strangling to come up. Hey, Denki? Sorry, Kaminari said quickly. Sorry, no, I know, break up. He laughed weakly. That just hit weird. Tell me about it, Katsuki grumbled. It's fine, Kaminari said. You're right, and I'm totally rooting for you and Midoriya, and I know his birthday is, soon, but his voice went small, and he ducked his head a little. Can we at least wait until after my birthday? I know that sounds stupid. It's not, Katsuki cut in. That's fine. It's only a few days away. I know. So it won't be much longer, then I could promise we could stop. I'm saying it's okay, you idiot. Oh, Kaminari lifted his eyes again, and meeting Katsuki's, he cleared his throat. Cool then. Katsuki snorted, and after a beat, Kaminari chuckled too. Shit, man, I knew this was coming, but it's still awkward. Sorry to drag it out. Only because you're making it awkward, Katsuki said, reaching out to flick his forehead. It's fine. I'm not so much of an asshole that I'd make you call it quits right before your damn birthday. Aw, Kachan, Kaminari teased. You big ol' softy. Katsuki huffed. Fuck off and die, dunce face. No! Kaminari slid forward and wrapped himself around Katsuki's arm. It's sweet that you're saving me from looking pathetic. I'm about to make you look like an exploded Pikachu if you don't let go of me. Shh, you're tired. Go to sleep, Katsuki. God damn it, Dinky! But Kaminari pointedly closed his eyes, grinning and still curled against his side. Katsuki was too exhausted to fight. He just grumbled and turned his face into his pillow, and within seconds, he was asleep. Okay, I am loving Midoriya's and Bakugo's little thing that they have going on, their little bantering they had in the beginning of the chapter. It was so sweet, it was so cute. I also love Denki's and Bakugo's kind of not relationship, but like friendship kind of. Like they're dynamic. I like that. I thought I wasn't gonna like it, but strangely enough, I do kind of like it. It's growing on me. It has grown on me like mold on wood. That is not a good analogy. I don't think anyone has ever said that analogy. Is that an analogy? What is an analogy? Anyways, if you guys have any fanfics that you would love to see me podfic, please put them in the comments and I will see what I could do and if the author allows it. As always, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds, and have a wonderful day or night. Please subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.